this. But hopefully what you'll hear today are some of what the voluntary and community sector have done in response to people trying to help live well with dementia. Now, I'm sure, like me, after lunch session is always a bit difficult. I'm feeling a bit sleepy. So we're going to actually start with Heather Collin, who's going to join us. She is the Community Engagement Lead for Home Instead North Wales. And thank goodness, I think she might have us singing in the end, which might wake us all up a little. So I'm going to pass over to you, if I may, Heather.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's really lovely to see you all come along for this session today, and a big hello to everyone who's joining us online as well. So, as you've just heard, my role is Community Engagement Lead for Home Instead up in sunny North Wales. But I run a couple of Singing for the Brain groups. For anyone who's not familiar with Singing for the Brain, it is essentially a music and sing-along group designed for people living with dementia. It was originally developed by Alzheimer Society, and in recent years, they have been working with external partners, such as Home Instead, to be able to deliver those sessions to a wider audience across local areas around the UK. So this is a little bit of a timeline of how we've come to where we are today from where we started. I was really keen to be involved with this personally. I was very much influenced by the Dementia Choir and seeing how that impacted on the members. I'm actually a member of a choir myself. And it was a space of sanctuary for me. I joined when my father passed away, and it was somewhere to go that was really mindful, somewhere that I could just go and enjoy things and disappear from all those external pressures for a couple of hours. But what I found is a really supportive network. We've all become really good friends. We were there to support each other through thick and thin during the pandemic. And that continues to this day. And I really wanted to be able to give people that opportunity to experience that same thing. My grandmother had dementia. She passed away more than 20 years ago. There was nothing like this available then. She loved singing. We used to sing together when I was a child, and she would have absolutely adored to go to a group like Singing for the Brain. So I find it a real privilege today to be able to offer those opportunities to people to be able to come along and enjoy something that they've always loved. Now, setting the group up hasn't come without its challenges. As I said, we started back in September 2021. This was quite a while after I actually did my initial training. We had to wait until those COVID restrictions had sort of almost disappeared, that we could actually meet again in person. We started off by socially distancing people. We had to have all the windows open for singing and everything like that, but it has gone from strength to strength. We started off with a fair few good numbers, and we've grown and we've maintained that to this day. That was a group that was piloted in Flintshire, and we wanted to replicate that in the Wrexham area. That has been ongoing for quite a while because of what I call the Hollywood intervention, because we did have a venue all set up for that, and then Ryan Reynolds came along and spoilt that for us. As much as I would love to be working with him, our room was at the football club. And unfortunately, although he is very community-minded, Singing for the Brain wasn't on that particular agenda. So then I had to go out and find another suitable venue. I haven't quite put that football club relationship to bed yet, because I think having him involved is a personal goal of mine, for obvious reasons, but it would also be amazing PR for Singing for the Brain. So what I really want to talk about is the benefits to attending a Singing for the Brain group. As you can see, there's a few mentioned on here. There's lots of other benefits that probably too many to go into, but the first one I want to talk about is social inclusion and peer support. Having a regular group to attend has meant that members feel much less lonely and isolated, something that was obviously really important after lockdown. They can come and meet people in a similar situation, share experiences, pass information around each other. The format of sessions has changed so much since we started. We definitely drink a lot more tea. There's a lot more chatting that goes on as well as the singing, because it's just due to those friendships that people have formed as part of that group. Shared experience, so as well as sharing with other people, it can bring those people that attend together closer together because they're sharing common interests with each other. And I've got a couple of members that actually show that really, really well, that I'll talk about in a moment. And the carers can see a positive change in their loved one's mood and behaviour. Music is proven to have benefits on cognitive function. It can improve mental alertness, focus and concentration. It can reduce that brain fog that people living with dementia often talk about. And of course, it can evoke memories from different periods in their lives. It's very good in terms of communication. It can help aid communication, even for those who are non-verbal or have reduced speech. We have a gentleman that attends who is no longer able to speak, but he can vocalise along to the music. He used to be a member of a Welsh male voice choir. And whenever he hears the music, he makes the sounds, he hums along to music, and you can still hear that really rich tone in his voice. And he also expresses himself by dancing along to the music, and he really opens up and he does the best Elvis impression. It's fantastic. And then finally, just talking about how it obviously it uplifts mood and affects well-being in that way. Singing is such a natural antidepressant. It releases dopamine and oxytocin, so the chemicals which make us feel good about ourselves, more confident. It lowers our stress levels, and which is obviously a benefit to both the carer and the cared for. So I've just got a couple of case studies that I will just talk about here. I'll talk about Fred first. Fred doesn't actually have a diagnosis of dementia. He does have memory problems. His connection is that his wife passed away with dementia a couple of years previously, and he was very lonely and isolated. He just happened to see a poster for Singing for the Brain at his local library and thought to himself, it's about time that he went and did something and met new people. And since then, he's sort of gone from strength to strength in terms of confidence. Unfortunately, he had a recent stay in hospital after a fall. And when I spoke to him afterwards, to check if he was well, he said that he really struggled to communicate in hospital. He'd almost lost his voice. The first thing he did was sing a song from our Singing for the Brain session. And the nurses were actually encouraging him to then entertain everybody on the ward with his songs. So it was really lovely to hear that. And then the other ones that I want to talk about are Judith and Gwyneth. So they are a mum and daughter that attend. Gwyneth is living with dementia. She's a native Welsh speaker. And I'm not going to say too much from my perspective, but Judith asked me to read this out because they love attending, and she really wanted to give their own feedback as to what they think about it. So I'm just going to read this word for word. So it says, "We love coming to Singing for the Brain. I take Mum to lots of groups, but this is the only activity that she talks about really positively before we attend. Her only complaint is that it doesn't happen often enough. She would come every day if she could. I enjoy the stress-free quality time that it gives us. We often catch each other's eye when singing and smile to each other as we share the meaning behind the song. It's lovely. We love the silly songs too, as it gives us both a good laugh and we feel so much better afterwards. I find it a comfort that the group is really inclusive and that Mum feels a part of it without being singled out as having dementia. You're there to support people, but it's without it being the sole focus, and that's very refreshing. As you know, Mum is a very proud Welsh speaker, and it's appreciated that you play Welsh music and have learnt some Welsh songs to sing with Mum. Even the small welcome in Welsh puts a big smile on her face." So that just shows how those little personal touches can really have an impact on someone. The next slide just is a little bit more feedback that we've had from people. I'm not going to go through everybody individually. We've actually taken Singing for the Brain out to other places as well, so the dementia wards in some of the local hospitals. The top left is a member who comes to the group and tells everybody about Singing for the Brain. I think he's after a bit of commission because he's brought so many members on board. So we'll have to see what we can do there. And this, what we actually do. So I say it's all about the music. We play music from different eras. We have music that includes actions and call and response. We play musical instruments. I was going to perhaps play a video here to show you what we do, but this is the point that I'm actually going to get you to join in with me. So this is when I see the door open and everyone starts sneaking out of the back. But I'm just going to do a short burst of a song that hopefully a lot of you will recognise. But this is something that actually includes a little bit of everything. So it's something to actually get you thinking and to keep our brains active, because you need to listen to the words that we're singing. And there's also going to be some actions involved. So the song is called My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. Does that everybody know that? Or, show of hands of people that know the words? Great, there's enough that I can get everybody singing. So what I'm going to ask you to do is that whenever we sing a word that begins with the letter B, I want you to raise your arms up. And then the next step is whenever we sing the next word with the letter B, we're going to drop our arms. So there's going to be quite a lot of arm raising and arm dropping throughout the song because there are a lot of B's going on in the song. But it's quite a short burst, just a verse and a chorus. And we'll see if we can all end up in the same place at the end. Don't worry, it's always me that goes wrong and misses out a word. So if you're following me, don't. So if we all want to have a go after three?
Oh, yeah.
One, two, three. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much for that. So that's just a very simple snapshot of what we do in the sessions. And obviously we have time for people to chat. We reminisce about lots of things. And it's just a really uplifting, fun session that, it does seem to make a big difference to people in terms of when I see them coming in to when they go out, they just have these huge smiles on their faces. And hopefully that's something that can last and they can take home with them, the two. And, we can listen to music anywhere. So, that's the hope that I have from that. And then just to finish off, I've just put what next. Aside from obviously taking it global to Hollywood, what better goals can I have than that? I obviously want to reach a larger audience. I work with about 50 people in my Singing for the Brain groups. There's approximately, in Wrexham alone, there's approximately 2,000 people that are thought to be living with dementia. So there's lots of people that we would love to reach with an intervention like this. We would love to follow in the footsteps of the Dementia Choir and do some public performances if our members were up for that. But it's, if there's, I would hope just to influence people to maybe think about starting a Singing for the Brain group. If music's something that you're interested in, it can benefit so many people. So I've used the term influencer, which I'm not talking about TikTok. That's well beyond my capabilities. But if anyone wants to chat to me about Singing for the Brain, what steps to take, all the different elements of it, then I'm obviously happy to do that. My Twitter has been on all the slides, so if anyone is on there, you can contact me through that. And just to say thank you for listening, and we'll take questions at the end. So thank you very much, everybody.